Wagwan guys, what's going on? I hope you're doing well. I cannot complain myself. This was an interesting topic that I wanted to get into. I want to say maybe even like last week to maybe even 2 weeks ago now, speaking on the topic, but maybe even longer than that, to tell you the truth. I saw a few other people speak on this Shedeur Sanders speeding ticket situation, and tandem with his where he was at on the death chart, having that conversation. And more recently it has come out that he is which I've heard officially he's listed as number 4 on the depth chart at quarterback, but he will be starting at preseason in order for them to get a good look at him. And you want to see, and you can see it now. You can see in his release how he's getting the ball out. It's snapping out. And I see that a lot. You see that, just that cadence of him being more comfortable with the ball and him getting it. I've seen good quarterbacks feel comfortable and be able to get the ball out, but even in practice, and you see the practice reps, even just to move over sports and boxing. I was, just speaking on this, just touching on this really quickly. Earl Spence, oh my goodness, dude, he just looked it so good. He looked it better than good. He looked it golden, just in warm-ups right before that fight with my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. Bud Crawford, right? I mean, he just looked it perfect. He looked it really nice, right? And sometimes that does not transition so well, is what I'm saying, right? But I do see that, which is why they're gonna play him. I suspect they're gonna start him. They want to see how he does, how he performs, and I mean, the ones are not even going to be in the game, really. The ones, they may suit up. They may get in there and they may run. It's practice, but it's suited up. It's a simulation that's being ran for the new guys to see how it's done so they can get their snaps. So, back to the speeding ticket thing. I think he ended up getting 2 tickets. I even have to watch myself, and I just try to start waking up earlier, and I believe that's very true. Everybody maybe drive 5 miles over the speed limit, and then you have to look at let me drop back down. You know what I'm saying? Let me drop down real quick, because you may be going up too fast, right? Right. So that's something we all have to look at. You know what I'm saying? And we all have to do that when we're driving. We all got to do that. And I believe, yes, he's getting acclimated to a new environment in Cleveland, and it's all these other things. His father coached him in high school. His father coached him in college. And when he went to Colorado, he was very clear. He introduced his son. He's like, "Hey, that's your quarterback, my son," and he's moving forward from that. Still carrying the Sanders name, and which is still should be highly respected, revered. I'm just saying, right? Taking into account the treatment that he received on draft day, prank call. I made a video on that. And, it's one of those things that you hope people would treat with respect. And it's not like, okay, he's part of the good old boys. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? Everybody should be good. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you would hope everyone is, but we know today everyone is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay? But long story short, they released the body cam photo. I mean, the body cam videos, and he was out, and he wasn't being disrespectful. He wasn't like, oh, I'm, this person of importance. No, he was none of those things. He was speeding. That's what they're saying. I'm not too sure if the tickets are going to get dismissed. I've had tickets, get dismissed where, I got a ticket one time, and my uncle, I came back to the house, and my uncle was like, you got a ticket, because I was out with, one of my other uncles, and, and he was like, you got a ticket? And I was like, yeah, I got a ticket. And he was like, give me that ticket. And he got it dismissed. He was like, that was just, it was preposterous. And I remember one time, like, because he bought me a car, and like I was driving to work one time, and I got pulled over because I didn't have any plates on the car. I literally just got the car, just bought me the car, and I'm going to work, and he's like following behind me because he's going into town, him and my aunt, and I get pulled over, and then I see him passing, and then I had to tell the cops that and everything, and then they were like, they chuckled, they laughed, and they're like, okay, well, park the car. And I'm in my work clothes, and I'm like, but I'm going to work. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drive back because I don't know. I've rode along with cops before, so like I know their shifts. They got some long hours, right? So I'm like, just a heads up. I'm going to work, so I'm gonna be coming back around, such and such time. So don't pull me over again. And they're like, yeah, you're good. So I say all that to say, it's these things happen, right? It's a ticket. I think that, it's, I think that, it's just, you want to, take certain things into consideration, and I have to take that into consideration, myself, honestly, right? When I'm driving to and fro and just being safe and, completely, you know what I'm saying? And he has I got a video I'm gonna play for you too, because he spoke more recently, just like about, Dion not attending practice, him not shooing him away more so, but not having, all these cameras and all these people around, and he's in his professional field of endeavor and his career, and he's wanted to focus on that. And he was basically speaking to that, and him saying that he wanted to focus on, him at Cleveland trying to get the starting quarterback position. And this was an interview that he was that he spoke to. I think it was like some type of press conference release, but I'll play the video for you guys.
That your dad mentioned on the Michael Irvin podcast that he wanted to come here and see you, but you
I told him don't come.
And why did you say that?
Because I mean, like I look at it at my own point of view. Like I don't want him coming to see me right now because I want to get to where I want to go then for him to see me. I don't want him to come and see me, get a couple reps and, he's cheering like a good dad. Like, nah, you can't be proud of me right now. I got to get to where I'm going, and I know it's a lot I got to do to get there. So it's kind of like I just want everything that I'm doing is just like focus on this time, and I don't want no distractions because we know out of media, we know how everybody will take it and take away from the team just from him being my own dad showing up. So, it's a gift and a curse at the same time.
So that was him speaking on that. And it's just one of those things. I saw this and I was like, let me speak to it. Let me just speak to it, right? Because it's very interesting, right? It's very interesting, and in all honesty, he has Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco. I love Joe Flacco with the Ravens. I don't know why they got rid of him. I always believed Joe Flacco was like a legendary quarterback, right? I didn't watch him very closely, so I just seen that big arm. You know what I'm saying? Like, what else do you know what I'm saying? What else do you need? Get open, okay? The ball's coming. So, right. That's really what I saw. But I always loved Joe Flacco. And, they got just, it's stacked up, dude. Even the other guy, Deshaun Watson, I like him. He's good, but just finding the rhythm. I think he's had some injuries. Joe Flacco may have a concussion. I don't know if it was I don't know. What's going on with Joe Flacco? To say that, just be completely honest. But he has a cannon. Come on, man. And I think it's Gabriel. Is it Gabriel? Gabriel. But he's coming out of Oregon. I want to get his name right. Yeah, so it's Dylan Gabriel. And he probably, you look at, oh man, dude, so many names. I forgot his name, but he plays quarterback for the Cardinals. Cardinals QB. Kyler Murray. Look at Kyler Murray. He's a short quarterback, probably can't see over that line much, but his mobility, right? And that was a question. Can you do that? On every play, can you stand in the pocket? Versus a team wanting to see that, but Murray has been getting it done. But I say all that to say, at the quarterback position, it's still wide open. And, versus the fans buying his jersey, I think people want to see what I want to see. I want to see Joe Flacco. I want to see definitely I want to see Shedeur, right? I want to see him definitely get some reps, some good reps in there, right? And Gabriel, I think he should get some reps right here and there. He maybe should get some so people can see him. And right. And that's who, but mostly Shedeur is definitely going to get some reps in there because people want to see him, you know what I'm saying? Right, but it's about timing and other things that go into it that maybe we can't even, we can't, understand what's going on in the locker room at this point in time. Just to be completely honest, versus what is actually happening and what people are seeing on the field. We don't have their playbook, so we can't specifically say what we can't specifically say. We know what the Browns are looking for, so even if you're critiquing it with a critical eye, you still don't know what they're looking for. So how can you say this is what they need when you know what I'm saying? That's why, as critics, you know what I'm saying? It's an opinion, it's a guesstimate, right? But when you see, blown coverages or this guy's running a wrong route and he's throwing it, you know what I'm saying, or he's just throwing the ball into coverage. Now that is where you can really get picked apart in situations where it's obvious at that point, right? So that's why these broadcasters, they can get away with, what I'm saying, maybe being highly critical in certain situations. And I don't want to make this video too long, but that's why they can bang on their desk and they can do those things because it's obvious at that point in time. And you can, and of course they're animated about the sport that they're broadcasting over. But that's what I got for you guys. Listen, man, I think Shedeur definitely should, and he's gonna get, he's gonna be rolling out. That's what reports are saying. He's gonna be rolling out in the preseason, right? He's gonna be the starting. He's gonna get the lion's share of the reps for the preseason. We're gonna see him more on in the regular season. I definitely think they will. Now they have so many quarterbacks. The quarterback room is so deep, they can just play whoever they want to play versus injuries and whatever. But that's what I got for you guys, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Ciao.